right, good.
We live? Let's get it
Live
going.
on Wall Street, Black Wall Street, let's go.
Do it, man. Turn my volume up. Respectfully speaking.
All right.
Hold on, let me get my proper place. So,
Player and coach, huh?
what's up, man? I'm subbing in, yo. What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right,
Yeah, yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the first ever of sorts. This is our first. Mike, how you ask the people to cut their volume? I gotta make sure that's crazy. This is the first ever live Market Mondays with a live studio audience. So round of applause.
Yeah. Right.
The room looks amazing if I do say so myself. A lot of black excellence. In the rain can't stop us.
The rain can't
stop us. Can't stop us.
So we're gonna get right. This is a legendary for a few different reasons. Honor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood district to be specific, Black Wall Street to be even more specific. If you don't know the history, we're going to give you the history. But first and foremost, we have Mr. Hill Harper.
Yeah. It's right.
Hill's a good brother, man. Met him weeks ago, me and Troy, and he was telling us about his crypto wallet that he's starting called the Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
And he had an idea that we collaborate and do some content together. And I'm like, that's easy, let's do it. And being that we have Market Mondays, the biggest investment show in the world.
That's right.
This is just
Come on.
Yeah.
We actually started the process by mentioning your name on Market Mondays.
That's
because you just announced that you're going to do Black Wall Street. We said somebody, if y'all can find Hill Harper, have him hit us up within an hour. Somebody's like, Hill Harper's looking for you. We're like, great. A week later with me and you in LA.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
So he had the idea that we would come to Tulsa. We would do a live show on this date. And why this date is very important in history is that 100 years ago, on 1921, was the massacre of the destruction of Black Wall Street. Over 300 people were killed. We're going to talk about the history, but this is the 100th year anniversary of that. So we thought it would be fitting to not only pay our respects to the past, pay our respects to all of our fallen soldiers on Memorial Day, but also and to understand that this country, this world can never stop. Resilient people, and we always will push forward. And this as far as cryptocurrency forward. So we're looking back at the past, but we're thinking forward. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you. This to me and everybody, this moment is so historic because actually it was 100 years ago, literally to this hour, when this massacre started, because it was right at sundown. Right here where we are, we're at the corner of Greenwood and Archer. Right here. So if you just 100 years ago, everywhere you see, it was black businesses, people exchanging money, supporting each other. The streets are busted, folks are moving places, and then all of a sudden, right at the moment, 100 years before. See, I get touched even talking about it because we are descendants of them, even though we may not be direct descendants. The people here, many people from Tulsa, this audience here, they're the descendants, and we have to pay homage to the survivors and the descendants first and foremost. But at the same time, talk about this, how they tried to steal our wealth, how they tried to take it and destroy something that folks have worked so hard to build. Because right now, you see a couple blocks, but this should be massive. There's a street over there called Lansing. They told me Lansing had more businesses on it than Greenwood because it was growing so fast. And it went on it just went on and on and on. So to be here to pay homage in this way, in this moment, in this time, I just thank you guys for being here. So give it up for them.
Sometimes what gets lost, obviously, the lives, and there's probably more than 300, but the amount of people who were left homeless. We're talking 10,000 people homeless in an area where they once lived. And so we don't want to forget about those people who actually survived the massacre and had nowhere to go. So this is a day to honor them as well.
Yeah.
So let's go down a quick history. 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 6 private airplanes, 21 movie theaters, a hospital, a bank. And
4 blocks.
Yeah, and so from my understanding, I was being educated. Shout out to everybody here from Oklahoma that's actually educated me in the last couple of hours. It started kind of like an Emmett Till situation. A young black man was in an elevator with a white young lady, and one thing led to the next. And they were saying that apparently he accidentally touched her dress, or one of these he said she said situations, and they locked him up. And the businessmen from the area came to bail him out, to make sure that he was treated well, and demanded his human rights to be respected. And they didn't like that. They were jealous of the entrepreneurship, the business, and they just really wanted a reason to kind of destroy it. And they waited, they locked the men up, and they came in at night and they pillaged the community. They bombed it, they burned it, and they literally just destroyed everything. Just burnt it to the ground. And to this day, it still hasn't really been made right for the victims, the families of the victims. So we're going to talk about economic empowerment and all that, but we have to talk about the truth that actually happened. Right. And still, like I said, to this day, that wrong still was never made right. It was never fully apologized for, was fully compensated for, none of that. So, we have to move forward, but in order for us to move forward, we have to understand what happened in the past.
Right. And I was just going to say one of those other historical facts that, again, people don't really understand. Like, the first aerial bombing on U.S. soil happened here.
Wasn't Pearl Harbor, wasn't 9/11.
It wasn't Japanese. It was Americans bombing an American city. And just think about that, right? Like, the first time ever that happened. And again, like you said, there's never been anyone, not one person has been found guilty or a crime was even committed. In fact, the only people who were tried for something were 4 black men who were charged with inciting a riot during this time. So you gotta think about, when we talk about the history, like really understanding that, like how crazy this is. And the fact that now that this is a generation that's bringing it to light, I think we move forward now with some key things that we're gonna talk about tonight.
Absolutely, and you know what? No insurance claim has ever been paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then back then, obviously, they didn't have electronic records of banking, so folks had money in, for instance, Bank of Oklahoma, and also banks that Chase owns today. And they showed up and said, "Listen, our bank records, our bank folio was burnt up. We still, you know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I like my money," and they denied them their money. These banks are still holding these people's money. I'm saying Chase and Bank of Oklahoma are still holding descendants' money in their accounts. They denied them access to that. And it's in my professor at Harvard Law School, his name is Professor Charles Ogletree, and he led the case trying to get it to the Supreme Court to get reparations for the survivors and descendants. And when you think about what happened, and you think about the Supreme Court said, no, the statute of limitations had run, but there is no statute of limitations on murder.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is, you're talking about 300 mostly black men who ran businesses, who were heads of families, killed. And it's hundreds and hundreds, if not billions of dollars in today's money that was taken and stolen out of our community. When we're talking about the racial wealth gap now, we can tie it back to this situation, as well as other, because every city that had a critical mass of black people had their version of the Black Wall Street. Chicago had Rosewood, Chicago had Bronzeville, Detroit had Paradise Valley and Black Bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You can go down, Virginia had it. Wilmington, North Carolina was almost all black and run by black folks. Mound Bayou, where my partner and co-founder Najee Roberts was just there in Mississippi. I mean, This has happened time and time and time again, yet the history books don't report it. This isn't even in the books. So there's only 2 public school books that they talk about the largest state-sponsored race massacre in the history of this country, which happened right here at this corner where we're sitting.
Right. And most, and you say that now, right? Even coming from New York, but even in Oklahoma, a lot of the residents here really don't have an understanding of what happens here. And it's kind of interesting, and I'm happy that we're here today, Shadi and myself for our families, because even in education, like they have show and tell, but I feel like this is the real show. Show them, we're gonna tell them the story, give them an authentic history, and give them exposure. Absolutely. So they can see it and they can build from it.
So let's get into the conversation. But first, I just want to make acknowledgments. Shout out to the Lock Shop. This is where we are right now.
Yes. Lock Shop. Back on business. That's right here on Greenwood Avenue.
The owner Gina, very gracious to host us. So if you are in the area, make sure you patronize. And we've been meeting so many different entrepreneurs here that it's extremely humbling. So first and foremost, I wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you. Our families are here. All of our children, Troy's children, my child, Ian came with his blue suit on, so he's ready.
That's good. That's good. I would have been insulted. He had the blue suit and the red tie.
He's ready. Troy's lovely wife, Danielle, my brother, Wall Street Trapper, and our whole staff, Mike, Pam, Jamal. So yeah, we ready. I just wanted to acknowledge that so I don't forget at the end.
Can we just do our sponsor?
Yes, please.
Yeah, shout out to Ally, our sponsor. So obviously, every Monday that we do this, our sponsor is Ally Financial. It's an option if you're looking to think or invest. Ally Financial is leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They are relentlessly focused on doing it right. Shout out to Queen Lule, who blessed us last week with an amazing Market Mondays. And being a trusted financial service provider for both customers and communities. Get with Ally to make the most of your money so you can save, invest, and spend in things that matter to you. Shout out to Ally Financial.
Shout out to good people. And shout out to Janet, the Chancellor.
The Chancellor is here.
So, all right, we're gonna get into this. Ian, I wanna let you speak. I know that you have put together some information as far as the economic blueprint. So we might not have time to fully go over that, but you want to do it at the end?
Yes.
All right. So let's jump into this. You want to talk about this cryptocurrency?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's
so
jump in.
Cryptocurrency. You have the first Black-owned crypto wallet, I believe, in North America, right?
Crypto wallet exchange. That's right. We got it.
Called the Black Wall Street.
The Black Wall Street.
Fitting.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we talk about crypto a lot on this show. What is a crypto wallet exchange for people that might not be familiar with what it is, and why is it important that you have the first, well, not even the first, but why is it important to have a Black-owned crypto wallet?
All right. Well, so first, let's take a step back and just talk about the move from hard money currency, fiat, to digital currency and cryptocurrency. We're in the midst of this window of time where we're moving in that way. Just like our watches have basically become accessories. We use our phone to tell time. Our watches are accessories. Your purse, your wallet, you're not going to fill it with things that you're going to use to exchange for goods and services. It's just going to be an accessory. And what you're going to use to exchange for goods and services will be a digital wallet on your phone. You're already using Apple Pay, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, all of these. These are digital wallets. And so why it's important to have a Black-owned digital wallet is simply this. $1 leaves the Black community today within 6 to 7 hours. I believe if we don't start owning our own digital wallets, it'll be leaving in the future between 6 to 7 seconds. If we're going to recirculate dollars in the Black community, we have to own the technology. We as a culture have been making so many tech platforms so wealthy based on monetizing our culture, monetizing our activity on the platforms. And if we start doing that with wallets, in other words, monetizing other folks with our money, I mean, that's us investing in them. I mean, it's crazy. We're giving them our culture, then we're going to give them our money to take our culture. Come on, man. And so even let's just be real. Cash App, they've been out there talking about Cash Apps for the culture. Cash Apps for the culture. And people start to squirm when I talk about it because they're like, man, I use Cash App. Don't talk about Cash App. Don't talk about Cash App. Cash App is for the culture. No, let's be real. So Megan Thee Stallion, I love her. They write her a nice check. Boom, boom, market that. They go over with Jay-Z, 500 Bitcoin giveaway in Africa. Boom, boom. They then Square, who owns Cash App, they decide, okay, we're going to buy controlling interest in title, $300 million deal. And then watch this. Square gets their industrial bank license, same license that Amex has. Now, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to see where this is headed, right? Because if they can get 2, 3, 4, 5 million black people on the Cash App, a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't know when it's going to happen. He's going to say, yo, Troy, man, you can't afford that bill. That's okay. Cash App got you. Cash App for the culture. Cash App got you, man. And all of a sudden, we're going to have 3, 4, 5 million black people paying minimum interest payments of 14 to 22%. We're watching a payday lender grow, a digital payday lender grow before our eyes. And we can't let that happen. We already have brick and mortar payday lenders on every block in our communities, whether it's check cashing, payday lending, rent to own. We have people paying 400, 500, 600% in interest. How can you grow wealth if you're paying that type of interest? If that type of money is being ripped out of your wallet, and in this case, it'll be a digital wallet before you even see the money. So we're here to battle that. I'll just be honest. I don't got the same funding as Square, but the Black Wall Street digital wallet, we got the culture, and we can win. We cannot let it.
But it does take a good doctor.
Oh, good. I see how you brought that in. Sponsored by ABC. Yeah. Well played, sir.
So for the digital wallet, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. It allows you to hold cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Bitcoin.
Yes. So we're only, literally, y'all, we launching right now. So this is literally, go download it right now. And we're only allowing Bitcoin right now.
Why only one?
Why only one? Because we have to start with education first. And we got to educate. You can't just throw a bunch of coins out there because there's almost 9,200 different cryptos out there, and 99% of them are meme coins and basically, just the trash. And so you need to educate folks first, because what we want to do is grow wealth and build wealth, get people into ascending value asset classes, not get them into meme coins. We're trying to not do what Robinhood does, because Robinhood is Robin the Hood, as my partner Nigel Roberts said. We don't want people just getting on trading just to trade, because you end up losing. We want to build wealth. We want you to dollar cost average into ascending value asset class, which is my goal is to have every black person in America have 1 million satoshis in their wallet.
Wow, so that's interesting, because most people you see will try to create a coin to build wealth in the community. Why did you choose wallet over coin, or is that something that's coming?
Yeah, no. I mean, we'll see. I never want to say what's not coming in the future, but Bitcoin is already a proven form. It's what it does very well. It's a store of value. See, I want black folks, I want us to be storing value. The biggest problem, if you break down money, 90% of black is in cash. Asset.
Last year,
Inflation is what keeps us poor. So if you're wealthy, the top 1% keep 95% of their portfolio in what? Ascending value assets, real estate, high value stocks, blue chip, mutual funds, gold, right? So if we're keeping all our money in cash, and every night your head is the pillow, you are poorer when you wake up because you're in cash.
Wow.
And every night their head is the pillow, they're actually richer because it's an ascending value asset class. What's the least future ascending value asset? It's buying real estate on the blockchain that is Bitcoin, which is buying satoshis.
Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, over the next 50 years, what do you think we could do on the anniversary to close the gap?
I think I'll just be honest, and I'm not, I'm not trying to just, blow. Be real. I believe our app option has the potential to scale and close the world is only holding, there's 2% of the world Bitcoin. And if we actually can monopolize the coin, the world has to come through us to get it. There's only going to be 21 million minted. And so if we can be the culture, see, we can't forget that we are the power, the people. We could choose shit coin, doesn't matter what coin. but you want to choose a coin that actually has fundamental value. And if we as Black people decide Bitcoin is that thing, and we start holding it and trading it, then folks will have to come through us to get access to it, and it grows our wealth.
Yeah, you think not being in Bitcoin is like missing out on a Dow like in 1950?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because I believe, and you can replay this tape, I don't know if it's 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, or 20 or 30, that there will be a time when we're not even talking about Bitcoin. We're just talking about Satoshis.
Let's get into this conversation, because you took me and Troy to a lunch that changed our life. That was probably the nicest. Bel Air.
See.
Prince of Bel Air.
I'm
man.
take pictures of it. This was like high level top secret
everything
stuff.
top secret.
That was a good lunch.
Well, yeah, so we was in Bel Air, and you was talking about Satoshis, and I know what Satoshis is because I'm in the space, but I'm assuming the vast majority of people have never heard of Satoshi.
Right.
Satoshi
Nakamoto.
was he's the founder.
He knows some stuff. He brought up the Nakamoto. First of all, I believe Satoshi is Black.
Okay.
I saw the shirt. Who had the shirt?
Wow.
Yeah, somebody has a shirt.
What makes you think that? Yeah.
Satoshi's Black.
Satoshi is Black.
It's a Black name, that's for sure.
Satoshi's Black.
Satoshi is Black.
Yeah, I saw it. That's like, oh.
Swahili. So, all right. Can you explain to people who Satoshi is and what is a Satoshi as far as how you're explaining? Because how you explained it to me was something I never really thought about it before, but you made a lot of sense as far as like how we used to look at gold as gold bars.
Yes.
Now we measure gold ounces.
Yes.
And you're saying like Bitcoin eventually is going to become out of reach for most people, so we're going to have to measure Satoshi. So
Yes, exactly.
Kind of just explain that.
So Satoshi Nakamoto, no one knows who he or she or the group is, right? And there's a brilliance behind this. And I encourage everyone to read the Bitcoin white paper. You should read it. Just read it and educate yourself. The fact is that I believe Satoshi is Black because of the ethos on which Bitcoin is built. It's the fairest form. And I believe we as Black people, we've never asked for handouts or extra treatment. We just want fair, because we know when it's fair, when the playing field's fair, we win. When it's stacked against us, we don't. But at the end of the day, it's completely fair. What makes it fair? Compare it to fiat or money in central banking, which is inherently, systemically, institutionally racist. Okay? If I have $10 million and I want access to $2 million, okay, a bank will give me that money and charge me like 2.5% interest. Very inexpensive money. If I only have $2,000, I can barely get a loan for $200, and that loan is going to be 25%, 30%, whatever. And so very expensive money. The beautiful thing about the Bitcoin platform is that no matter how much you hold, it does not wait to you anymore. It's completely fair. One Satoshi is exactly as strong as one Satoshi being held by someone who may hold 1 billion Satoshis. You understand? So just because you hold more of it doesn't mean you have more leverage. It's all equal. So to me, Satoshi is Black because they built a fair playing field, because that's all we want, because then we win.
Equal level of playing field.
That's it.
And a Satoshi is a
Satoshi, yes.
microcosm of a Bitcoin, right?
Yes, there are 100 million Satoshis in every one Bitcoin, which shows you the genius of the development. So, okay, so the total Bitcoin that will ever be minted is 21 million. Okay, so we know it's a scarce asset class, right? Scarcity is what creates value, ascending value over time, right? There'll always be short-term volatility, but scarcity is what creates an ascending value asset class if people consider it to be something that's valuable. It's just like a piece of art. If you have a great artist who does a one-off, it will go up in value over time. But if that same piece of art, that same artwork, you make 10,000 lithos, don't sign them and just put them out, they're worth nothing. And it's the same image. The same is true for money. The US government is just printing money. The value's going down. Bitcoin is locked. The 48 million millionaires in the world, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. That means there's not even enough Bitcoin for each millionaire to hold one. And if we as Black people start holding them, they have to come through. So Satoshis, to me, will be that form of value. Like you said, they used to price gold in gold bars. It got so expensive they started pricing it in ounces. Same thing's going to happen with Bitcoin. When, I don't know, but that's why on our platform, we're the first platform out of all the digital wallets. We are letting you hold and price it in satoshis. Everyone else you'll buy, it'll go 0.00003333222 of a BTC. You're going to see how many satoshis,
Wow.
right?
So in-
2,000 satoshis, 5,000 satoshis,
In
whatever.
a sense, because my brother Wall Street Travis here, it's
Oh.
like breaking down the brick, right? Trav?
Oh, Trav, come on, Trav.
Breaking down the brick. But I want to talk about a piece of the platform that you're building, because it's not just trading, it's actually an educational piece.
Yeah.
I know you guys just came off the 30 City Tour.
Yeah,
Talk about that piece?
yeah. My co-founder Naja Roberts. Where Naja? She's over there by Trap.
And,
She is. Let me tell you, Naja Roberts is my hero. I'm so lucky to have her as a co-founder of this platform. She's been on the road, going city to city, because to truly deal with the wealth gap, she says it all the time. You got to meet people where you are. And what makes her such a genius is that she's only one of 2 brick and mortar cryptocurrency exchanges in the country. Hers is in Inglewood, in the community. She says, Naja Roberts says she's building Silicon Hoods. Forget Silicon Valley. And so she's been going, she was in Mound Bayou. That's why I mentioned Mound Bayou is one of the poorest and most challenged zip codes in this country.
Where's that at?
Right? It's in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
And they were so shocked when her caravan came in, the Black Wall Street wallet caravan came in, because they're like, no one even talks about us. No one cares about Mound Bayou. But the point is that we have to care about each other. Dr. King said we're all tied together in a single garment of mutual destiny. That means we are all linked. And if we actually understand our power and link it together, we are unstoppable, y'all. We're unstoppable, man.
I always tell people that the 20-year period to hold S&P is the best. What period do you think everyone should hold Satoshi?
Okay, so that's a great question. I believe, and this is my personal feeling,
Okay.
I believe you start collecting and holding Bitcoin and never sell. And that's why on our platform, eventually you're going to be able to just take out a loan against your Bitcoin. I want you to be able to hold it. Everybody has liquidity challenges, right? So I'm not saying you need access to liquidity, no doubt. But just like extremely wealthy families get a really beautiful piece of property. I bought the Fisher Mansion in Detroit as an example. I bought it from Michael Fisher. It's 100-year-old house. They don't, to create liquidity, they don't sell the property. They hold the property and just take equity out on its ascending value. It's an ascending value asset class that you hold and you pass down. That's how you create cross-generational. I believe the same is true with Bitcoin. We collect it now. We hold it as the value ascends for us. We then begin to, if we need liquidity, loan against it, and you'll be able to do that on the platform.
Yeah, like Nas said, long crypto, sickness and health. I'm forever long crypto. I've been in crypto. I believe in it. I believe in Ethereum and I believe in Bitcoin. Other coins too, but I feel like those are the 2 leaders in the space. I actually like Ethereum more than I like Bitcoin. I want to get your opinion on a few different things. Ethereum to me, I think has more of a use case and more reason why it's valuable than Bitcoin. I feel like Bitcoin is more branded, like it's just like the brand name, but I don't necessarily know if it has the same use as, well, it doesn't have the same use as Ethereum. So what is your thoughts on Ethereum?
Okay.
And what is your thoughts on the use case for Bitcoin? That's another thing we talked about in Bel Air.
That's right.
I said it has no use case, and you said, well,
It does what it does perfectly.
yeah. So what's your
It already does what it does perfectly. So I'll just turn it back on you before I answer. So what is the use case for gold?
I know some people, there's always somebody like gold in cell phones a little bit, and they put it in your teeth sometimes. Paul Wall. Shout out to Paul Wall. But the vast majority of gold, because there's always those people, the vast majority of gold is not getting used in
Right.
that.
It is a store of value. It's a store of value. It's been a store of value for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Right? Bitcoin is a store of value. What makes it valuable is its design on the blockchain. It's simply a store of value. I don't want our community using it for a means of exchange. I don't want you to buy pizza, a blender. Naja bought a juicer from Bed Bath & Beyond a bunch of years ago just to prove how you use Bitcoin. And now that juicer, I believe that she used like $150 worth of Bitcoin on is probably cost her what, $2,000, $3,000? $1,800. So I don't want you using it to transact. I want you to use it as a store of value. That's the purpose of it. And it does that perfectly. The way it's designed, it does it perfectly. Now, you asked about Ethereum. I hold Ethereum. I like it. It's fine. But it's just like anything else. It's like I tell people when we're talking about financial literacy, you got to get your emergency savings first before anything. You know, you add up for 6 months. What do you need? What are your absolute needs for shelter, food, electricity, utilities, you know, your cell phone bill, the things that you actually need to communicate with your family and live. And you need to save up 6 months of that before you're doing anything else, right? Have that and then move on. The same thing in the crypto world is that. Get your million satoshis first minimum, more the better. And then as you educate yourself in the space, you can start looking for other ways to participate. To me, Ethereum, the gas fees are high. There are a number of use cases that I think are good, but at the same time, there's going to be more competition coming for it, right? There's Cardano, something that we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's something new that you don't even know. Bitcoin is different, right? Bitcoin's not trying to be the new. Gold is not trying to be the new. And what makes Bitcoin so powerful is that right now, there's the market cap of gold is $10 trillion. And that's over 5,000 years. The market cap for Bitcoin is about $1 trillion, and that's over 12 years. So there's a lot of money flowing into that asset class. And it's becoming a store of value, and I think it will continue to ascend. And it's not obviously the only crypto. There's 9,200, and there's going to probably be another 9,000 next year, and there'll be more and more coming. And that's not to say there aren't good things. I mine Ethereum. I'm actively mining. But I mine Ethereum instead of Bitcoin because I get better returns mining Ethereum than mining Bitcoin.
So one of the biggest things when you're designing a wallet is security. And so obviously, can you talk about the importance of that and how, when you were creating the Black Wall Street digital wallet, how did you go about ensuring security for the platform?
Okay, great question. So security has to be number one because in our community, we've been ripped off by so many fraudulent financial service and products, hidden predatory on their face predatory, that folks are rightfully nervous. That's why we hold so much cash. They're like, well, if I just hold my cash, I know at least it's not getting taken, right? That's mattress money mentality, right? And so we knew that had to be paramount. And that's why when you go on and y'all download it, the first thing is going to be your information security questions, what they call KYC, which is know your customer, right? There are a lot of platforms out there, and watch this, where you can go on, they let you on real quick, no friction. You start trading and buying and doing all this stuff, and you haven't done anything. You're like, dang, where's the security? And the thing is that they're betting that making it frictionless is, you're getting more users and more adoption. But then when you try to offboard, you're going to have to do your KYC anyway when you want to take the asset out. But the point is, we want it to be buttoned up from the beginning. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer, but you're going to know that we are completely buttoned up, because the last thing we can have happen. And I do believe, I'll be real with you, I do believe, since we are a Black-owned digital wallet, there are going to be hackers that try to take us out, just like they took out the brick and mortar version. They're going to try to take out the digital version too. I'm not naive to think that. So we had to make it bulletproof. So we just, my CTO, brother named Brian Griffin, shout out to Brian. He is the baddest brother, and he specializes in cyber crypto security down the line. He is so bad, and he kept, asking questions and beating up on the developers, and then asking more questions and beating up on me, then asking more questions and then going in. And he's so valuable. He is the key. He has been the key for us. And I want to say this, and then this is a critical point, y'all. We did not license this. We did not white label this. In other words, we didn't throw the Black Wall Street name on someone else's tech.
Yeah.
We built this. We own the IP. We own the code. We own the technology, and that's essential. It's an essential difference because too many times folks have been marketed to something that wasn't really owned by us. I mean, think about the Rush card. When they pulled up the hood on that, you realized that was Green Dot Bank.
Yeah.
And they put
Partnership.
marketing on top of that. And they just put their fees. So black folks were like, yo, if I would have gone straight to Green Dot Bank, I would have paid less. Oh, man.
I always say if you invest $200 a month, let's say just half the African American community, that'll be $4 billion into the market every month.
Oof.
How much do you think we should put into crypto to help offset some of the challenges we face?
I literally believe that if all of us committed to $5 a day, dollar cost average, I say set in, forget it.
DCA.
That's it, DCA. And if you just did that $5 a day, you don't even need to think about it again. And you'd see in 2, 3, we will have created hundreds of millions of dollars of wealth. Another 2 years, 3, billions of dollars of wealth, etc. Because slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. No one wants to hear that though.
Nobody wants to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you explain, because some people, I want to make sure everybody understands. We talk about dollar cost averaging, but why is dollar cost averaging so vital in cryptocurrency, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's vital in crypto because it reduces the volatility of the asset. Cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile because they trade 24/7, 7 days a week. So there's a level of volatility that exists. And remember, the massive amount of institutional money isn't in these asset classes yet. Now, when you have massive amounts of institutional money and they're not just getting in and out of positions, there's a lot of people getting in and out of positions. It can move quite quickly. Dollar cost averaging takes that volatility line out of it because just simple thing. If you're always doing the exact same time, agnostic to price. So if the price goes down, you get more of the asset. If the price goes up, your overall portfolio value goes up, but you're getting less of the actual asset per trade, which is fine, which in my opinion, I win either way. People keep telling, I talk to people, I say, what do you want? The price of Bitcoin is going down. I say, yes. They say, man, why are you saying yes? I want it to keep going down because I get more of it. I want it to keep going down. And that's why the education piece is so important. Because what we can have on the Black Wall Street digital wallet platform is people getting in, and then they getting online and say, Hill Harper's a liar. He ripped me off. This thing dropped 20% yesterday. I can't stand him. Because this is a long-term hold. It doesn't matter. You want it to drop 20%. So you get more, and I say 4 years minimum as far as if you're thinking about getting out of the asset, whatever you're putting in. There's no one day that since Bitcoin's inception, if you would have bought Bitcoin and you held it for 4 years, you'd be under. Not one day. Not one day.
So as the platform grows, I know you said you started with 2 digital assets. Are you going to add more? And if so, what's the criteria that you're looking for when adding the digital asset?
We want to hear from the community because this is, this isn't Hill Harper's wallet. This is the community's wallet, right? So if folks say we want the black coins on there, Adua coin, Guap coin, CJ coin,
Capo coin.
Capo coin.
Shout out to Jim.
Hey, there's a coin coming. I had a meeting with this brother called Derek, called Vibranium coin.
Oh, that's our guy. That's our guy.
You've heard of it.
That's our guy.
You heard of it?
That's
You your guy? Okay.
That's our guy.
So it's coming. Derek.
Yeah.
Derek Ferguson.
Derek Ferguson. Shout out to
Yeah. So that's coming. So we have a lot of coins coming, by founders from our community, etc. But at the same time, we want to be good stewards of the community and give the folks what we want. We don't need to tell people. They need to tell us. I don't want to assume that I'm smarter than you. I'm not, right? I want you to tell me what, but at the same time, I don't want to just throw everything at you and then folks don't really know what to do. And they hear, oh, get that Dogecoin, get that Space Moon, get that Shiba Inu. And the next thing you know, they're going to Vegas. I tell people, if you want to gamble like that, go to Vegas. At least they give you a free drink. I mean,
And maybe a room.
And maybe a room, exactly.
You spoke about lending Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Can you break that down?
Lending against the
Lending
Bitcoin.
against it.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. So basically, to me, the reason why I recommend and a hold position is because I believe the value is going to continue to ascend in a way that you will ultimately be holding a good amount of equity in your asset, in your portfolio. And you're going to be able to pull money out or liquidity out against that without selling the underlying asset. And that's a very valuable way to go. I mean, it's just literally repeating what folks do with real estate and other assets and hedge fund managers and people like that. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. You become your own bank. This is about self-sovereignty. This is about us, community sovereignty. We literally, as a community, we could decide to go off the grid. We wouldn't need the central banking system. We wouldn't need the US dollar. We could decide that. We got $1.2 trillion of spending power. If we're intentional about that, would make us the 15th largest economy in the world. Black Americans. And if we're intentional about just a percentage of that, we would change the wealth gap.
Let me ask you this. You went to Harvard.
Yes.
And
don't hold that against me. Come on, Trap. Trap's like, nah, man, these Harvard Negroes. Come on.
Download the app.
You can download the app. It is live. It's live right now.
So now you're interesting. You went to Harvard and you became good friends with President Obama.
That's right. We play basketball.
So you into politics.
Yeah.
So the political play on cryptocurrency is very interesting. China trying their hardest to, derail the situation. America, taxes up and down, what they want to do with it. So that's always been a fear of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, is that governments control currency. And at any point in time when a currency starts to threaten a government, the government is either going to end the currency or co-opt the currency. And actually the whole point of Bitcoin will not be there anymore because the government will control it. So how do you feel about government's interaction with cryptocurrency?
Government can't stop Bitcoin. That's the whole power of it, because you can self-custody. So listen, if our wallet is going to be certainly secure enough for you to hold as much Bitcoin in your wallet as the Black Wall Street digital wallet, right? But I don't recommend that you hold all of your Bitcoin on our wallet. I want us to take it off and hold it yourself, because that gives you power. You become your own bank. That's power. And so you get a cold wallet, you got to be really, organized and make sure you're not going to lose it. But you get a cold wallet, you transfer that coin off at a certain amount or point or a certain percentage off, and you hold it yourself. You self-custody. And even if the government comes on and says, yo, Bitcoin is done, Bitcoin is out, you're self-custodying this Bitcoin. They can't come and take that thumb drive from you. They cannot, and they won't, because you better hide it in place. The dudes, hide things. You got to hide it.
So when you say take it off, obviously you're talking about like a nano ledger or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have your Black Wall Street digital wallet is an app. At some point, will it become a ledger in itself too? Is that something that you guys are thinking down the road?
Yeah, the roadmap is vast. There's so many things we want to do. We eventually want to have a peer-to-peer lending apparatus. Okay. We want to do $5,000 to $50,000 micro loans, business loans, right? Mm-hmm. If we're actually able to get enough people on board and we're actually able to create that equity liquidity position on the app, folks could start lending. See, this is, you see where I'm going? Folks could start putting their Bitcoin up, make interest off of it, and be giving Black businesses small loans based off what they're holding. So everybody's winning. You see, we create our own ecosystem, and that's why we called it the Black Wall Street, because it brings us right back here to the Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Because to me, what created the wealth here, where we are, 3 pillars. 1, institutional ownership. 2, institutional trust. And 3, the movement of money or capital within the ecosystem. Dollar changed hands 6,100 times. Back then, that was up to a year or more, right? And so that created the centrifugal force of creating jobs. Because if I go transact with you, you got enough business, you're going to have to hire somebody else. That person's going to start making a living, and they're going to transact over here. And they have to hire somebody else. So we forget the network effect of money. We can copy that same network effect within a digital wallet ecosystem. So we can have peer-to-peer lending, we'd have micro lending, and then we can start spinning up things. I'm going to hit you with something. we can create our own algorithm for credit worthiness. So we can have the Black Wall Street credit rating. So Leon on Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, wherever, maybe 550, but on the Black Wall Street, he's an 800.
Shout out to Leon,
Right?
shout out to Tyrone.
So that's it. And one thing I want to say about the genius of where we are right now. So O.W. Gurley and the founders of this 35 blocks that is the Greenwood district. To me, the real fundamental genius was that he didn't say, oh, I'm gonna put up Gurley Hotel, Gurley Cinema, Gurley Apartments. You're gonna have to rent from me. You're gonna have to go to Gurley Grocery. He said, I believe I will do better if I help empower other owners. A rising tide will raise all ships, including mine, right? And so that collective spirit, that's a mindset shift for our community. And if we can get there, like, yo, no matter what business you're in, you're not my competition. You're my brother. And I want you to win, because if you win, you give me permission to win. And that's collective economics.
But how do we get the entire community to shift to collaboration versus like a market share driven model?
We have to show and prove it. And to me, if they start seeing success, if they start seeing people like, for instance, Naja, who I mentioned, who's my co-founder and partner, she already had an over-the-counter brick and mortar exchange. So on the face of that, you say, oh, Hill's coming with Black Wall Street digital wallet. Hers is called Crypto Blockchain Plug in Inglewood, California. Okay. Hill's coming with the Black Wall Street digital wallet. Oh, you'd think we were competitors, right? Because we are literally selling Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But instead of saying, no, if we work together and lock arms, we can scale, because there's so much need. We're in a state of emergency right now. We can try to act like we're not. But that Prosperity Now study that was called the Road to Zero Wealth said that Black folks, we're going to be at zero wealth by 2053. Some doesn't change. And the McKinsey and Company said, well, the pandemic has made it actually 2043 now. And Latinos are So we blessing people with some satoshis, putting them in their wallet so they can get used to this concept and understand that this is something that's accessible and available. Too long they've been locked out, too many barriers to entry in getting those ascending value assets, and we want to show that's not. No matter who you are, no matter who you are, if you can get $1, $2, if it's $1 a week, $1 a month, $1 a day, whatever you can do, just start. That's it.
Are we good, Mike? We good?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're good.
We may have gone offline.
Yeah, I seen him moving. I'm like,
Yeah.
moving too much. Just make sure we're good.
Come on, Big Mike.
Computer died.
Let's go, baby.
The computer died.
About to send Rashad anxiety through the roof.
You know, he started giving that look, bro. Everybody be like, why Rashad looking like that?
I think we got other recordings going on, so maybe we could replay it.
Yeah, we're off here.
It's on, but it's just not.
At 8:50, we went off here.
I don't know.
Everything plugged in, bro.
Smash coming up.
You need me or you don't? You need me?
Yeah, come over there. The Zoom or YouTube?
It's still live on YouTube. No video. What happened? Kicked the cord out?
Live show, man. Anything.
Want to give a shout out to IG?
Tell us about who's IG?
Market Monday.
Huh?
Tell us about Market
Who's IG?
Let's just try to just see what's going
I
on.
know, but which one is it? Black Cash Matters? Oh,
They can hear us? All right. They
Oh,
can hear,
wow. They can hear us.
They can hear us with the video.
Camera? I don't think it's the camera. Do you want to try another camera? To the other image.
Audio still live?
I think the audio's live. I might have to have Quasi the poet do a poem while the audio's live. Are we good?
Yeah, it was on 4.
It was on what?
Yeah, we good. It's on, yeah, it was reading from the channel, but it's in the one slide.
Ian, you guys question?
Yeah, if you can go back to your 21, what are like the biggest 3 mistakes you may have made financially to help people not make the same ones? I know. Love the
Man,
question.
yeah. So
What you do all over again?
you know, I allowed when I was that age, I allowed people to project fear onto me about limitations. There was property I wanted to buy even that young. My father told me of a property. I said, Dad, I found this property. I think it's, you know, and he's like, no, why? What do you think? A lot of money and you do that, you know? And that property, I think today is worth like $6 or $7 million. And what's crazy about it is I felt it was the right thing to do, and that's the thing. For me, I learned that fear stands for false evidence appears real. People project their fears on you. They're not your fears. They're projecting on you. And so you have to follow your heart, intuition. And you know, I mean, I was in, you know, because at that age, from Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island to Boston, Cambridge at that point wasn't a super expensive, it hadn't exploded real estate values. Boston hadn't exploded in terms of cost. And there was opportunity there. I was gonna be there for 4 years anyway, going to grad school. And so instead of renting, I could have bought. The whole idea was, it was like my idea was buy a unit in like a 4-plex and rent out the other units. And so I needed to help me with the down payment. And he was like, no.
No.
You're good, kid.
You know, but
I want to stay with the fear, and I'm gonna
Right.
flip it a little bit, because most people know you're the savage, active, educated, going into this space, and so I'm sure there's plenty of doubts and a bunch of naysayers. I'm sure, right? Like, oh, he's not talking about. How do you deal with that? And in turn, how did you build your team, right? Because you had to find the people who also had a similar passion and belief in this as well. So how did that process go?
you know, I don't want this to sound, you know, too out there, but I believe God in the universe puts people in your life at the right time, you know, and you meet people, you know. My brother Lamar Wilson's out here from Black Bitcoin Billionaires. Shout out to Black Bitcoin Billionaires. I met Naja through that platform, right? And you think that Brian and I got introduced because I was in Seattle because my show, The Good Doctor, up in Vancouver. So I was in Seattle. This brother is a genius, and there's a lot of tech in Seattle. So he was there, and he and I met, started talking, realized that we were interested in community empowerment, and he's a tech genius. And so you ended up, you know, and then sometimes, man, you work with people and it just didn't work, you know. But so I'm not saying that every time the right situation, but you know, I've been very blessed and fortunate to have good people, and you know, all of us, we're only as good as our team. You know, only as good as our team. And I'm adamant saying this is not Hill Harper's wife. This is ours, right? I'm literally attempting to do it the way O.W. Gurley thought about the, you know, the Black Wall Street and the Greenwood district. You know, I haven't seen, I've seen one drink. Other than that, that's it. It wasn't about Gurley. It was about everybody. And so that's what this is, and that's what the wallet is.
Let me ask you this, because I asked you another question I asked you in Bel Air. Where do you guys get Bitcoin from? That was something I was always interested in, like Coinbase and all these exchanges. Who's supplying them Bitcoin?
Right. So we are using a company called Prime Trust. And that's the same company Binance US uses. And it's also Swan Bitcoin uses them. Shout out to Swan Bitcoin. You know, so we wanted to literally go to the best, right? And so all the KYC, the connective tissue between the bank account and the wallet is done by Plaid, which is considered the top industry. To go to the best in every category, you know. And eventually, to be real, I want us to grow so that we become Prime Trust. We get our MSB, money services business license. We get our MTL, money transfer license. We get all the requisite licenses to be a fully fledged trust company, and we could be a liquidity provider, right? We're holding that much, and we're providing that service. So if a young brother coming up says, yo, what company should I use to access that Bitcoin? Oh, you got to use the Black Wall Street, the trust side of that company, right? And so we want to build to that. But we wanted to, on our way there, use the best. So we are doing it the right way. And folks can say, dang, they're using top of the line in every single space, because our people deserve that. Our people deserve top of the line.
Is part of that the reason why you're actually mining Ethereum?
No.
Okay.
No, to be honest, the mining Ethereum, because I wanted to learn that side of the crypto space And I also want, it's very different. And I also want to figure out where the opportunities are in that space. Because I believe if we can figure out low barrier entry ways and different ways into the space for people to start businesses. And so the only way to do it is to try it. I mean, there's so many different things that are happening right now. That's why this moment is so important, right? Because if we can crack the code on some of this stuff, then we can start offering opportunities to people. Like, oh, you know, I could set up a whole mining rig for you, and you could live if you don't have money to actually do the rig. But right now, it's hard to figure out how to have enough money in that to do that, because the costs are really high right now because the graphics cards are expensive. And so I've tried different things, from the graphics to doing it on actual computers to doing different. So we're trying different things out, but the Ethereum piece is it's definitely a learning curve and a learning process, but it's actually been valuable because obviously the price of Ethereum was moving quite quickly, and so therefore we were actually recouping much faster than we had even projected.
Yeah, we actually had a conversation. I leave the gentleman's name anonymous, but he was saying, I didn't even think of this. He was like, there's plenty of, especially in America, be building mining facilities. The cost of real estate is cheaper, the cost of electricity is cheaper, and you got a bunch of land that you can just do it on. And so when I thought, I'm like, wait, I originally thought that you only have to do it in cold weather temperatures because the amount of mine a big in Canada. So like even thinking of the United States, especially places like Oklahoma, there's an opportunity in that.
Yeah, it's all about energy costs, fundamentally speaking. So where my mining rigs are set up is in some of the lowest energy cost places in the country. Right. And that's the way you have to do it. You know, unless you're doing it purely clean energy wise, doing the solar or the wind or the hydro and using that to power the rigs. But if you're just paying for the energy, you have to do it in places where the energy cost is super low. So you know, I don't want someone out there listening saying, I'm gonna set up a rig and then do it in their apartment in Brooklyn. No. You know, it'd just be too, it'd be too expensive. The whole block goes black, and then you're paying a massive bill. It wouldn't make sense.
So in the entertainment world, have you gotten support from your colleagues? There's a lot of powerful people in the movie world, entertainment world. Have you even seeked any support, or how's that been?
Haven't.
Why not?
Because you know, this is, to me, this is the most important thing besides being a. So professionally, this is the most important thing and an impactful thing I believe I've ever done. This is the culmination of everything I've ever done. And so just like I say to people, we're building this, it's a tortoise hare. We're building a long haul. I want this to build because it builds slow and steady and people come to it and they get value from it, not because, you know, Will Smith tweeted about it. Because to me, that if I'm built off of that hype, then negative tweets will take me down. Right? I don't want to be built off smoke. I want to be built off fundamentals. You know, and I want people, that's why the tour and Naja going to looking people in the eye, right? Yeah. People are saying, this is valuable. You should get this. Yo, I'm up. You should do this. Get this. That's what's really going to create sustainability. You know, not being that hot app for a minute. And the next thing you know, what was that? You know,
you're very intelligent, high achiever. What are some of the tips or tools you'll give people to kind of emulate some of the stuff that you've done? Because great schooling, great actor, you're in this space. What are some of the parallels that you see or that you've done?
I really believe you just got to follow your heart. Whatever your heart says, and don't judge it. Too many of us judge it. And too many of us we talk ourselves out of things. So many young brothers and sisters I talk to, they say, well, I would do this, but, and that sentence crushes my spirit, man. Answer is, I'm doing this, and I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do it because it's not clearly apparent to me how I'm gonna get there. Because I either don't have this or I don't have that or that, but I'm doing this. And that to me is it. And if you follow your heart intuitively, then you're living your truth. And that's.
How many hours a day are you working on your craft? Because you can follow your heart and be lazy.
No. Yeah, but then but are you really? See, that's the thing. To me, you're not, because if you're smart, you end up thinking about it. You start doing it, and thinking about it, and you're doing it, and or else you're doing something that somebody else told you you should do. That's the problem with education, to be honest with you. I believe is that we tell people study this so you can do this, which is automatically limiting. Why not just study something so you become a more learned human, so you have more options, and then choose what you want to do with that? You can go to engineering school, but decide to do something completely different, but you still have that fundamental skill set or learning, and maybe you apply the engineering or physics or whatever that is to what the new thing you do. And to me, it's about optionality. It's about spreading and going and knowing that we are a magnificent people. There's nothing we can't do. And if we know that fundamentally, we'll start understanding our power. And I believe we'll start spending our money like that. Right? But if we believe we're less than, then we start having to buy stuff to make us feel better about ourselves. When those stimmy checks came out, Naja was telling me she was driving down from Inglewood to Beverly Hills. She said there was a line down the block at the Louis store on Rodeo Drive. People with house shoes and hair rollers, they're looking like us. And so why do we feel that we have to do that to make ourselves feel better? Why can't we say, you know what? I'm gonna actually start my own Black-owned high-end luxury handbag shop. And then the community supports that. So we have a Black-owned Louis. I mean, your man from LVMH, Bernard, whatever his name, he just surpassed Elon Musk as the wealthiest man in the world. Because their stock price went up.
Yeah.
And that's us again.
You know what? Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Christian Dior.
Christian Dior.
Make sure they know that.
The Mount Rushmore.
Make sure they know that.
Mount Rushmore of Atlanta. Shate.
Shout out to my boy CEO Max J.
So as far as the financial literacy play, who turned you on to cryptocurrency?
Okay, so I went away to, y'all ever hear of this thing called Summit Series? I used to go to a lot of different retreats.
What's that?
This is called Summit Series. This particular one was called Summit Series, and they used to have these retreat weekends where, in this case, it was up in the mountains in Utah. But they used to have them in different places before they bought a mountain. They bought this mountain in Utah called Powder Mountain, and then they started having it there all the time. But before that, it moved around, and they'd have it at different places. And so at different seminars, you go away these weekends, different seminars, and one was a seminar about Bitcoin. And I was like, dang, Bitcoin, this is probably about 2014. And I was like, dang. So I go to this seminar, this guy's talking to me about how Bitcoin, the way it's built, the technology, the way it's about opportunity, it's about equal access, it's literally about dealing with the wealth gap, providing access, lowering the barriers to entry, all the things we've talked about. And I was like, damn, what is this? I still don't really quite get it. And so I went up to him afterwards and I said, well, what do I do? And how do I start? He said, man, you just got to start buying and then start reading and learning. And he says, the more you learn about it, use this word that that's in the Bitcoin. He said, the more you learn about it, the more convicted you'll get about it. Your conviction will rise. And I said, okay. I said, well, how do I start? He said, just go. And I'm not going to mention the platform he told me to go buy, because if you look up what's the most racist platform in the crypto exchange piece, because the CEO has treated his Black employees wrong, it's that platform. And so I went there because that's where he told me to go. And I think you're never supposed, by the way, folks out there, never tell people how many coins you hold, how many satoshis, because as the value begins to rise, people don't forget. That's just a rule in the Bitcoin community.
And that's also a rule in the 10 Crack Commandments. Shout out to me. Never let them know how much dough you owe.
That's right.
Because jealousy. All right.
That's right.
I digress.
No, it's relevant. That's true. And right. So as the value begins to roll, people remember about 4 years ago he told me he was holding what? Yeah, exactly. So I bought some coins, and I kind of forgot about it. And then I heard the story about Mount Gox.
I got caught.
You got caught in that? And I was like, did I? I was like, oh, were my coins that I bought on Mount Gox? Because I was so not into it at that point. I didn't know what it was.
I think that's an important lesson.
Yeah, well, I'll let Ian talk about it because he got caught in it.
I mean, protection is most important. You have to put it in a stable place. So then they connect later. You have to get a platform that's trustworthy. Because if not, I woke up one day and all my coins were literally gone. But I
Right.
coins. Went to the bank. I was like, hey, took my coins. It was like, nothing we can do. You got to insure. So
Right.
that's why the protection part.
Protection part is
so much.
essential.
The defense never won a crypto.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the name, Black Wall Street. Obviously, 100 years to the moment. 3 living descendants still.
Yeah.
Obviously, 3 living survivors.
3 living survivors. Yeah, plenty.
Plenty of descendants. What are their thoughts on the use of the name, and have you spoken to any of them about this space, the crypto space?
Yeah. So yesterday, I was so filled, man. I got a chance to be in the audience, and right there, Mother Fletcher, who's 107 years old, and Uncle Red, who I believe is 105 or 106 years old. They were just sitting there eating, and I said, I asked grandson Ike if I could speak, and they talked to me for a while.
Wow.
And I talked to him about the platform, and I said that I was making a commitment of $1 million of profit to go to the survivors and descendants and families, because to me, my goal is that if we're actually using and being inspired by their history from which their ancestors and relatives shed blood and were murdered, then we owe them a debt. You got to pay the survivors and descendants. They got to be participants. And my original plan, to be honest, was to give the survivors and descendants to create a pool of 1 million shares of stock and give it to them. But there was, and that's, my lawyer said there's an SEC problem with that around accredited investors pre-IPO. So once we IPO, which is the hope that we'll do someday, I'll be able to do that, right? But I can guarantee you can give away money, you can give away profits, and that's what you can do. So I could say that, and I was just so moved to be able to talk to him. I mean, come on, 107 years old, and she's having a conversation with me. That's living history. That's why we do this. And my son who's 5 years old, was just a few steps away. So I was like, okay, we have legacy, and then we have the future over here. And it's our responsibility to make it better. And we're letting them down if we don't step up. So I'm hoping that every business that's benefited from them and their legacy comes through, and they get a stream of money into a pool.
Is there a foundation?
Justice for Greenwood.
That's the foundation.
Justice for Greenwood is I know Demario Simmons, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, they're really working hard representing. I've had conversations with both. They're working hard representing the survivors and the descendants. There's multiple active lawsuits against the city of Tulsa, against county, state of Oklahoma. I believe they're trying to get Maxine Waters, the Congressional Black Caucus, to go after Bank of Oklahoma, Chase, go after the insurance companies that haven't paid insurance.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
If we can, Jamal or Bam or somebody, if we could get the website before we end this show, I want to let the people know where they can donate. Like if we can get the direct information, and we
got the number right here.
What's the number?
So it's a descendant hotline, 918-209-3771. So it's the descendant hotline, Justice for Greenwood.
Yeah.
918-209-3771. Oh, good.
Yeah, for sure. And Earn Your Leisure will definitely be making a donation, because I feel like at the end of the day, we're really blessed, to be able to make money off of conversations, to be able to have lunch in Bel Air, things of this nature. You know, sometimes you take it for granted, but at the end of the day, it's like you wake up and you can just do whatever you want. You can eat lobster, like you're really blessed.
Yeah.
And it's like that blessing was sacrificed by other people that paid the price with their life.
Yeah.
So we can never become jaded in a perceived notion of success. And like you're right, like, you know, it's good to, you know, pay homage, but it's also good to actually help. We ask for reparations, but we have to give reparations ourselves.
Right.
You know, that's like something that we can count on. We can't count on the government. So
We definitely can't count on the government.
yeah, for sure. So I encourage anybody, you know, we never force anybody to do any charity. If you have it in your heart, or if you have it financially, definitely, you know, watch this episode, but try to help those people too, because it's still not right. It's still not, you know, it's 100 years later and it's still not right.
No.
The bodies haven't even been buried.
No.
Or found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking over 30 to 40 million in just the real estate alone that has never come back. Descendants have never received anything for it. And it's like, even though the city was rebuilt, it was still the wrong has never been corrected. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you feel encouraged to, absolutely. And like I said, we're definitely going to be part of it.
Tomorrow they're doing a whole thing that they're continuing from today, where they're actually going to where they believe some of the mass grave sites are.
I heard some, they think that there's some on the other side of this building, they told me. So yeah, it's a lot of unsolved issues that are not solved.
That's right.
So, but before we wrap, what is the future of your app, your platform, and how do we start to work together collectively? Because even with the coins, there's a lot of coins. A lot of rappers have coins, but I feel like it would be probably more powerful if there were less coins and we kind of pulled our resources together.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on, we talk about like black banks and black banking apps. Is there a way where black banks and like your platform and different types of entities that's doing things financially can come together?
Absolutely. I mean, this is about collective.
Talk about Black Wall Street.
Absolutely, without question. And so for us, the beautiful thing about owning the tech is that anyone's platform we can plug in. We can write to someone else's API. I mean, 50% of black folks are unbanked. But we don't want them just going to any bank, just because there are a lot of banks out there that do hidden predatory work where they got $600 in the account, but they charge them $250 a year in fees, overdraft fees, ATM fees, all that. That's called hidden predatory. So to partner with a bank, partner with a black bank, partner with a bank. So we have a digital platform, very low cost. We want to put payday lenders out of business. So another part of the roadmap is you're going to be able to take a picture of your paycheck. It'll get automatically deposited into your Black Wall Street digital wallet, right? For little or no cost. And that should put payday lenders out of business, right? And that's the type of technology we want to offer. And so every partnership is valuable. Our Black Truth, right, Kwesi? That's what it's called, right? Our Black Truth is a platform that we were just talking to this brother, Michael Thompson, today about, you know, he's got all this technology, very similar to Facebook and very similar to TikTok and other things. And so we all can come together in these platforms, but we have to have the ecosystem. And so that's why I'm so proud of you, brothers, because your reach, your platform, your power is so important, because people respect you and they know you're genuine because you want, absolutely.
I think it's important, you know, as far as a lot of times people don't realize the power of working together. And you brought up a really good point when you said he didn't name everything after himself on Black Wall Street, O.W. Gurley. And I never really thought about it like that, but it's true. You would never really know his name. He's kind of forgotten in history. But there's a genius to that.
Absolutely.
There's a genius to that, being humble enough to understand that it's more powerful to empower others.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So when can people actually start to use your platform?
Right now. We decide live. This is it. right now. This is the go live. This is the launch. We chose this moment, and we've been building to it to be the exact time that this massacre started. We wanted 100 years later honor that by launching at that exact hour, that time on your show, This because this is a blessing to be on the show, blessing to do First Market Mondays live in front of an audience. Yeah. And to do it in this historic place. So please go download the app right now, the Black Wall Street digital wallet. Please download it. And know this though, but listen, you ain't gonna be able to just download it and start buying Bitcoin, right? You're gonna have to KYC and go through the process, and all of that gets cleared. It takes time. We got it right there. Here, give it to me real quick. We got this. This is it. This is what you'll see. It'll say learn, and then it'll say sign up. Boom. And then you put in your name, your information, and then you'll get texted. You'll get texted a code. You put that code in, and then it's gonna say, hey, we're checking your information to make sure it's clear.
You're already signed up.
Oh, you already signed up. Okay.
What's going over here, man?
This is Trapper right here. This is his phone. So you come on now, and if you hit invest now, you just sign up. So it says we are now verifying your information, because like I said, we're doing it all first. We're verifying people first. We don't want any money laundering on our platform. Yes. You know, we don't want any nonsense. We don't want anybody doing anything that could potentially get us shut down in any way. I mean, it's going to be so squeaky clean and completely bulletproof. And then you have all these videos, all these learn. There's my partner there, Miss Naja, her video. What is Bitcoin? Simple.
Gotta make some content for you.
Right. Yeah. That's her intro. And I asked Sasha, I said, how come her intro is better than my intro? It is. And then
Bitcoin is a digital currency that lives online. It was designed for peer-to-peer transactions.
Just simple, clear information so that people can get it, meet people where they are. Right. So the videos, the educational videos are very important. They're very short, a minute, 30 seconds. Each different topics. There'll be over 120 videos, and it's all free. Anybody can get those videos. You don't need. The app name is called The Black Wall Street. The Black Wall Street. So when you go in there, since we literally just launched, you won't. We're not at the top. We're at the top. We're about So you'll see. You have to scroll down, and it says The Black Wall Street.
And can they go to like the link in your bio and Instagram?
Yeah. Well, the link in bio and Instagram right now will take you to theblackwallstreet.com. That's another way. You could put your email address in theblackwallstreet.com, and then we'll send you a link.
Okay.
And if you do that, another incentive to do that is we're blessing the people from the landing page with the satoshis first, because those are the people that signed up first through the landing page before we were live. Those are the real convicted folks, the folks that got in early.
And I could transfer, like you can transfer Bitcoin from like Coinbase to your platform?
Please get it. You can transfer wallet to wallet, get your coins out of the Coinbase, get them onto the Black Wall Street, go do that. Now there are places, let's be very clear, where you absolutely should not be buying your Bitcoin. Naja, what are they? Robinhood, because Robinhood be Robinhood. Venmo. PayPal. SoFi. Webull.
Really? You didn't say Cash App?
Well, we
gotta have another show.
Yeah, we gotta have another show on Cash App.
Definitely gotta talk about Coinbase. That's the most racist.
That's
Wow. Talk about
yeah. So the reason why many of those platforms, for different reasons, you either have to cash in your Bitcoin to actually move it. They're not letting you just move it right off as Bitcoin. And you want to be able to move it off, like I said before, self-custody, etc. And so that's a really critical point about the ability to have it be self-sovereign. So that's what you can do on our platform. And we're trying to make it as clear and simple and low barrier to entry, low friction as possible. And that's why the videos are important, because people just give people comfort, because it's a new space.
Yeah.
If we've done anything to help you, download it.
Download
No
them, please.
financial- I love this brother. No financial interest. If we've helped you and we gave you those fire picks, download this brother's app. Let's push him to number one.
Thank you, bro.
Tonight.
Thank
You know
you.
what we do.
Thank you.
You know what we do.
Thank you.
It's been an honor and a pleasure. Shout out to everybody that's here. 50 people outside that couldn't get in. I could hear somebody playing it from the speaker.
I know, right?
Right. The echo.
whole time.
It's like a block party. But thank you to everybody. I have high levels of anxiety, and for some reason, they always test my anxiety level. So we lost power for 5 minutes, but we fought through it, and we got through it. And that's the most important thing. There's always issues in business, but it's not the adversity; it's how you handle the adversity that
Absolutely.
matters.
Say that.
So we
Say that.
Hey, look, 100 years ago, entrepreneurs were massacred. 100 years later, entrepreneurs have come back to let you know that the dream is alive, and we're gonna fulfill everything that y'all thought was possible. So I want to shout out to every person in this room. I want to shout out to my brothers, because this is incredible that we're doing it together. I shout out to all the sisters who are here with us as well. But the dream is alive, and I feel like a huge sense of obligation has come over me since I've been here. In a few hours I've been here, that the mission, and I should have worn the marathon sneakers, but the marathon really continues and it really lives to us. So I want to encourage y'all to keep going. Shout out to all the earners, and shout out to all the communities that are pushing this narrative forward. And this is an incredible movement. We say this all the time. There was the massacre that took away businesses. This time around, it's going to be completely different because they can't stop us. They can't stop. They couldn't stop us then. They definitely can't stop us now, just because the information is so readily available, and we're delivering it, and it's a name you can trust. Shout out to everybody that's part of this and leading it. I feel very fortunate to be a person in this movement. So again, I encourage everybody to do their part, and we definitely gonna do ours.
Shout out to Senator Connie Johnson, who's
Yeah.
fact. And yes, it's an honor to come. Everywhere we travel, we just, the love is always felt. But this is definitely something that I felt the energy as soon as we got here. People just embraced us, telling us the history of what's happened. So very humbling experience. Glad that we had the opportunity to come. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Shout out to Angela for helping coordinate.
Yeah, Angela.
To the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce, I believe, right? They help. Do they help out as well? And anybody else confirmation that helped put this together?
Well, listen, I think everybody in Tulsa city, people here, the more I learn from people here, Vanessa Hill Harper, who I affectionately call Cuz, she's a city council person. Yes. I've been learning that the Williams Dreamland Theater, which is one of the most successful theaters in the country, was literally right where this highway is built, right up there. And they literally, after they rebuilt, right, they destroyed it all, they rebuilt it bigger, then they put a highway through it. Then they put this through it. There have been years and years of systemic and institutional racism to try to stop this community. And now most of the Black folks are in North Tulsa, and they're struggling. So this is yet another reason for us to seed back into this community, help young entrepreneurs, help them create businesses. Being here is big. The lock shop. That's right. Support this business. Brothers got great, we didn't talk about, I own a coffee shop in Detroit, right in downtown Detroit. So I love coffee and I love coffee shops. Brother's got a beautiful coffee shop called Liquid Lounge right here on Greenwood Avenue. Shout out to him. There are so many beautiful Black-owned businesses here. We can support them either on a platform or come here, come here, support these businesses, and we all will rise together. That's it. I love these young brothers. This is about the future. Look at it. Come on. Look at this t-shirt. I wish my son was here. Turn around. Look at that. Look at that t-shirt right there. Yeah, this is the future. This is why we got to have cross-generational wealth transfer. We got to set them up. Cross-generational wealth. Man, where's Pierce?
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, come on.
Uh-oh. The next one.
Yeah. Oh, look, right here. Good try. Good try. Yeah. That's it. That's why we got to do this. Cross-generational wealth transfer. This is it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Ian, I'll let you get the last word, brother.
Love each other and collaboration over competition. We should not be competing against one another. That's it.
Yeah.
Support each other, and if you're good at your craft, there's more than enough room and money for everyone. Collaborate. That's it. That's it.
Unity.
He looks like us now.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. Love is love. We'll see you next week.
Peace. Yeah, brother. Man, that's a great show, man. Thank you, man.